Hello, 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 and welcome to Workouts for Older Men Live. I am 𝗪𝗲𝗄𝘀. So glad you are joining me. When you come on, say hello. Tell me where you're watching me from. Tell me how old you are. I want to know who's joining me. This is Workouts for Older Men. The first question people always ask is, hey, am I old enough? I'm 39. I'm like 42. What's old? Yeah, I know that in the fitness world, it's always like fitness over 50 or fitness over 40 or whatever like that. Age is a state of mind. Obviously, when you get a little bit older, it's not everyone, but when you get older, you have different priorities. Maybe you don't have as much time to focus on the gym. You got your family and your business. Many of the men who I work with on a daily basis, they're busy with their families and their business, and they don't have time to just scroll through the internet all day long, social media to get the information they need. They need it short, concise, effective, and efficient. And they want to have certainty and confidence that if they're going to do this work, if they're going to carve out this time to work out, to make sure they eat right, they want to make sure that they're doing it right, building muscle and losing body fat. The more you tend to look on the internet, the more confusing it can be, because it seems like all the opinions are conflicting. So a lot of men, when they're older, they need to be more effective and efficient. They need to have the elegant use of their willpower, focus, energy, and time. Right? A lot of times there's injuries that maybe happened on the job. Maybe they've been training for a while. Shoulder pain, joint pain, arthritis coming on, knee problems, hip problems. We need a training routine that can work around those. Right? What can they move forward with? And feel certain that under their conditions, they can still build muscle and lose body fat, right? I hear this all the time. I can't eat the way I used to. Eating is a very important part of this whole process. What changes do you have to make when you're older? What changes do you have to make when you're older? Again, those are a lot of the questions. And I design my material to the mindset, the values, the priorities, the physical, mental conditions of older men. That's what makes an older man. I always say that if you have to ask if you're old enough, then you're not. You're not. You don't ever question if your age is a factor and you're building muscle and losing body fat, then you're not old enough to be here, and that's a good thing, and that's good. So for the rest of us, that's what Workouts for Older Men Live is. I'm doing this live on TikTok. Doing this live on YouTube, and I'm doing this live on Facebook, which I do every single morning about this time, 4 a.m. Pacific time. Today, the first time I'm doing it on X too. So welcome. Let me know if you are on my X platform. Don't do a lot of posting on X. May change that, see what kind of audience we can build over there. All right. So when you come on, say hello. Tell me where you're watching me from. I want to acknowledge you for being here. And make sure you follow. If you're just following on X and you're looking for effective and efficient strategies, maybe you're a little bit older, you got a busy life, you want to build muscle, lose body fat, don't necessarily want to be a bodybuilder or live in the gym 6-7 days a week for a couple hours. Well, this live broadcast coming to you every single day, get some inspiration. You can ask questions or learn from the questions that are asked by other men who are just like you. So say hello, tell me where you're watching me from, and then also tell me how old you are. Also, make sure that you follow. Bob72 is from Long Island. Great to have you here. JG asked, Tren, Anadrol, or Dynabol? None of the above. None of the above. Stay away from those drugs. All right. Bob, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate you being here on TikTok. Purple Iris, thank you for the follow. Good morning, VG. Great to have you here. VG, thank you for the follow. All right, guys, do you have any questions? Again, this is Workouts for Older Men Live. Let me take a moment to introduce myself for those of you who are new. My name is 𝗪𝗲𝗄𝘀. I'll be 62 years old next month. I've been doing this bodybuilding and training thing for 35 years. The first 15 years, I was just obsessed I became a six-time national champion drug-free bodybuilder, right here for the muscle magazines. Quit my regular job to pursue my passion, not only to build my body, just master fitness, but also to help others. I built my first website back in 1994. I wrote a book on bodybuilding and training back in 1994. I sold my first VHS tape about bodybuilding training back in 1999, right? So I've been doing this a long time. My experience, right? How that serves me, but really more importantly, how it serves you. I mean, that's what's most important right now. This isn't about me so much anymore, although, I love fitness. I love everything that it brings to me, but it's about me being your teacher, coach, friend, mentor, someone who can shave off the trial and error, the learning curve, and make you move forward with more certainty and confidence in what you do. I know you don't want to be a bodybuilder, right? And I want to help you. I want to help you move forward with certainty and confidence. All right. A lot of different workout strategies out there, a lot of different diets. What I like to do is have you understand what the common element is in all these training strategies instead of focusing on what the differences are. Right? I know that you're really good at what you do. You've been doing that for a while, and a lot of the men who I work with in their 50s, they're just rather new to working out. I'm not one of those fitness gurus or coaches that say, "What's your excuse? What's your excuse for not working out?" There's no excuse. Get the F to the gym or whatever they say, right? It's only 1% of your day, or whatever, right? It's a lot more involved than that. And if you were to go to one of those fitness experts and say, "Hey, you look great, you look awesome," but that's no big deal. That's no big deal. You're gonna go, "Well, what are you talking about?" It's just 1% of your day. It's just an hour of your day. I mean, so what do you look like that? That's not a big investment of your time. They would say, "What are you talking about? You know how much I sacrifice? You know how much I prioritize and think about this? I made it a part of my identity. You think I was always this way?" And then you'd say, "Well, you're the one who said it was just a small part of your day." No, it's a lot more than that. And there's a way to elegantly and effectively work it into your lifestyle, even though you're a little bit older and have a busy, productive life. And I want to help you do that. All right, today, I want to talk about effectiveness in the gym, right? How to get the most out of your workouts. One of the most common questions I get asked is, what is the best workout? What's the best training split? And they'll list all the different training splits. They want to know how frequently they should train the muscle, once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. How many sets, how many reps should they do? How many different exercises should they do for each body part? And that is the key. If they had that right training routine, when they looked in the mirror, even if they have 20, 30, 10 pounds, maybe overweight, too much body fat, they believe that workout routine is going to create their transformation, and it must be that they don't have the workout routine. And so they'll switch from workout routine to workout routine, thinking that is the combination. And I want to tell you some things to remember when you're doing your workout routine, your training routine. All right, how to make any training routine work when you understand these organizing principles. So it doesn't matter if it's push, pull, legs, Arnold split, one body part once a week, bro training. It doesn't matter if it is a full body workout 3 times a week. It's what you need to remember to get the most out of whichever exercise routine that you choose. So what makes it effective is how you approach the weight training, right? And then secondarily, it's what training routine you might prefer. One, it might work best for you, but it's really, you can make any training routine work when you really understand how that works. So I want to talk about that for a moment. And then I want to get back to answering all your questions. Say hello, tell me where you're watching me from on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, and if you're new here on X, welcome. This is my first live here. I've been doing this live show. So I come to you about this time every single morning, 7 days a week. And also make sure you visit my 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗀𝗃 website. Probably every single question that you have, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions right here. This is their morning commute. They listen to me, but if you ever want to dig deeper, to the questions that you have, maybe the ones you don't know you have quite yet, make sure that you go to 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗀𝗃 website, 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗀𝗃.com. All your questions there, 10-minute video, 20-minute video, half-hour video going into great detail. All right, let's see here. User 47, thank you for the follow. Greg V, thank you for the follow. All right, let's see here. All right, guys. Hey, thank you for the follows. Thank you for the likes. Just you being here will attract more people, men just like you. So I appreciate that. Billy Wall, New Orleans here. Skip the man, share and follow everyone. Well, thank you so much for that endorsement, Billy Wall. So let's talk about how to get the most out of every one of your weight training routines. Well, I think the first thing that you need to understand about weight training, all right? And again, I'm talking about an older man with a busy, productive life who just wants to build muscle and lose body fat effectively. And so he's going to spend some time in the gym. Can you get that done in 2, 3, 4 days a week? Yes. Does it have to be 7 days? Definitely not, right? But it's really the amount of intensity. I want to talk about that. But the first thing you need to remember, again, if you're rather new to this, training a year or less, your weight training routine, I don't care which training routine, I don't care how effective, I don't care if you can hang with the younger guys, all right? That people, they just can't believe how you train or how you look. I don't care how effective you are in the gym. What's going to transform your physique if you have too much body fat, right? And if you have too much body fat, you can't even see the muscle that you're building or the muscle that you have, right? It's not going to come from your weight training routine. Most men, in addition to weight training, they got to really concentrate on their diet, lose that body fat. It's going to come through their diet, not through weight training. So you hear things like, oh, well, the more muscle you have, it speeds up your metabolism, you burn more calories that day. Yeah, but it's going to take some time to build that muscle, and every pound of muscle, it isn't quite that easy just to pack on pounds of muscle that's going to take out whatever 20 calories more, right? That's going to be done through diet. So you got to remember, weight training is to build muscle, right? Now, again, we're not a performance athlete. I mean, I guess you could play 15 over flag football or 15 over basketball, and you can do certain exercises in the gym for mobility to enhance your physical performance, all right? But I'm not talking about that. Most men just want to go to the gym, build muscle, right? Lose body fat, look better, look healthy and fit, have more energy, live a long, healthy life at this stage. So, if that's you, weight training is to build muscle. So you want to overload the muscle, right? You want to tax yourself. Progressive overload is called, where you're doing 1 more rep, 5 more pounds. And you won't be able to do that forever, but better form, feel, execution, mind-muscle connection, really hitting that muscle with what you do, getting better and better at what you do, right? When there is more demand on the muscle, it'll break it down, and then it'll repair and grow. That's how you build muscle, and that's the purpose of weight training. So if you think you're going to do more reps, more sets, more exercises, train with weights more frequently, again, that more reps will get you cut up lean, all right, tone. No, weight training is to stimulate muscle growth. Your diet, maybe a little cardio, but your diet is going to get you lean. So that's the purpose of weight training. So you don't want to speed from set to set to set, right? Well, I'm only going to rest 20 seconds. Right? It's more challenging, gets my heart rate up. That's not going to burn the calories. Right? It seems like it would burn the calories. So you got to remember what weight training is primarily for. In this case, it's to overload the muscle to build muscle, right? Okay, so now you're in the gym. How to get the most out of your weight training routine. Now that you understand that, being in a hurry, more reps, lighter weight, that's not going to do it. We're here to build muscle, right? So what's really the most important thing while you're in the gym, it's not how many reps you do. It's not even really how much weight that you do. It's the combination of those two, that whether you choose a rep range that's higher, 12 to 15, or lower, just say 6 to 8. It's how it feels at the end of the set. Did you really tax yourself? So if you're going lower reps, 6 to 8 or so, right, you got to use heavier weight, and always safely, especially when you're older, right? You got it when you're going to put that down, whether it's 6, 7, or 8, or 13, 14, or 15. It's got to tax you. You got to be challenged. You can't just do 3 sets of 10 and 1 to 10. Put it down. Save yourself for the next set. Save yourself for the next, and you're just doing, I don't know, 5 exercises, 3 sets each of 10. Just set it down. They've got to challenge you, and it's just guesswork if you do enough weight to just be exhausted at that 10th one. So remember, every workout intensity is just that one set at a time, how it feels at the end, right? So if you want to use lighter weight, it's got to feel heavy at the end anyway on 12, 13, 14, 15, right? Or if you use more weight, it's got to feel heavy the 6th, 7th, or 8th one. So overload is what you want. It's that one set. You don't look at the whole workout and just pace yourself through it. That's the opposite of intensity, right? That one set at a time. And if you had a good set, you forget about it. You just move on, right? If you had a bad set, you forget about that too. It's the one right in front of you. That's the key to all this. So how do we get most that overload to get the most that intensity? Well, number one, it's a warming up. When you warm up, just get the body part, the muscle warmed up, whatever that takes to get mentally, physically, emotionally ready. Your body, mind, warmed up to tax yourself in that manner that I talked about for that one set. But after you warm up and you're ready to go in that first exercise, you taxed yourself in that manner. Well, then the next exercise you do for that body part, you don't warm up again. That's just waste. You don't pyramid up. I know there's different pyramid exercises, right? But or different type of training styles. But you want to go right to the heavy weight. You can cut out, sometimes up to 10 sets in your workout when you skip, because it's that overload set that matters. If you're going to go to the heavy sets, you do 2 at a lighter weight, and then you do 2 for a total of 4 sets. Skip the 2 lighter ones, and you're already warmed up after that first, and just go right to the heavy training. Be safe, of course. Right. You always have to have a rep range. That's another thing. You can't just go to 10 and glide into it, right? There's always should be a range. How you feel in that set, how much you guess weight as you're challenging yourself, right? So again, I'll ask a lot of men. I'll say, so what's your rep? I do 3 sets of 10. I go, okay, so you pick up a weight, whatever the weight that is, whether it's the beginning of the week or the end of the week or the middle of the week or the beginning of the workout or the end of the workout, right? You pick a weight. So you get to 10. What if you just feel strong? What do? You're going to do more, and they go, no, I'll just stop at 10. And the reason why they'll stop, because I still got 2 more sets left of this exercise plus 3 more sets of 10 at the other one. And I'll go, okay. And I'll say, well, what happens on the next set? You have a challenging weight and you want to quit at 7. They go, oh, no, I'm not going to quit. All right. The goal is 10. I'm going to get that 7th one, 8th one, 9th one. I may not get 10, but most of the time I do, because I will not die. I will die trying to be safe, of course, and I'll get that 10th rep. I go, okay, that's how every set should be through the entire workout. That's how you get more out of what you do. So you got to have a rep range. You can't guess which weight and what's going to create that overload you can't stop on a dime, so to speak. Just pick the weight. That would just be a lucky guess. So you want to have that rep range. You want to rest between sets long enough to get as close to 100% of your strength rate, to overload that again, mentally, physically, overload it again without losing, being distracted, your, flow, you're out of sync, right? Because overload is what matters. Okay, we don't want to rush from set to set to set, thinking that we burn calories or more efficient. It's all about overload. So you want to make sure you rest as long enough as you need to get 100% of your strength back without getting distracted. All right. So for some exercises, that's as much as 2 to 3 minutes. For some, it may be a minute. Right. So that's what's important too. All right. You don't want to necessarily duplicate the same exercise over and over again. So, well, I want to really work my chest, and so what you might do is, I don't know, 6 or 7 different exercises. Get 6 or 7, that's better than 2 or 3, correct? Well, no, it's not, right? So we don't want to add volume, because the more volume unnecessarily, a lot of people call that junk sets nowadays. You don't want to add more to your workout, especially when it's just duplicating the same thing. You want to have a variety, but you don't want to duplicate it, right? It just waters down your workout, lessens the intensity, and makes you less efficient. So again, weight training is to build muscle, to stimulate muscle growth, right? You want to just concentrate on one set at a time, get the most out of that, whether it's lighter weight, more reps, or heavier weight with fewer reps. It's all about getting everything you can, if that's at being safe, of course. You don't want to, after you warm up, you don't want to warm up all throughout the exercise. The muscle group is already warmed up, so then you want to go right to it, cut down all those unnecessary sets to get the most out of what you do. You want to make sure you rest long enough between sets, and you want to make sure that you don't unnecessarily just add more sets, add more exercise, thinking more is better. So those are some things that, when you understand that, you can make any workout strategy work. So now it's just your preference, what works best for your schedule. All right, so let me answer some of these questions here. What's your take on all those N reps that are best form? Just murder that muscle. Don't know what that, not the best form. Yeah, so so Michael asked about form, reps at the end that maybe aren't the best form, but you're pushing yourself. See, I think on your way to perfect form, when you challenge yourself to more reps, heavier weight, you're not going to be perfect. You just wait till you're perfect. You're never going to challenge yourself to more. All right. So there's that balance. I mean, if you did 6 to 8 reps, right, let's say, I mean, you don't want every single one to have bad form, right? So if just say 6 of them are just great form, you really stimulate the muscle, but now you're going to challenge yourself. And so the last 2 aren't perfect form, right? But it's effective, right? Well, and then you just raise your standards, but now you felt it. So, they're on your way to perfect form with more weight. You're going to use less than perfect form. You don't necessarily want to put yourself in that box or every single rep has to be perfect, because, stimulating muscle, really understanding what you can do, because a lot of it's mindset, right? So, that's allowable, of course. Be safe, all right? Don't put yourself in a box of that form being too strict. How do you prepare for 1 max rep on deadlifts during a workout session? You're welcome, Michael. At bodybuilding, training, building muscle, it's more than like a 1 rep max, right? I'm not big into 1 rep maxes to prepare for that, but probably similar to what I talk about, there. All right. So again, when you come on, say hello. Tell me if that is helpful. How to get the most out of any workout you choose, if that's helpful. Again, I know there's a lot of questions. What's the right training routine for you? And that's how you can make any training routine right for you with those things. Keep in mind. All right. Let's see. So when you come on, let's see. LS Dunk. What? Number 1, bicep peak exercise. Okay. Well, every bicep routine, whatever angle, it's the same. It's hitting the muscle, whether it's a dumbbell, a barbell, a machine. All right. You're using a barbell, a dumbbell. It all works that bicep. So the question is, can you shape the muscle? Like if you don't have, you're not genetically shaped. You see these guys with beautiful peaks on their bicep, beautifully shaped. And I guess the assumption is that You know, they must be doing certain exercise that created that shape. And, you know, the fact of the matter is your shape is genetic. Now, your job is to maximize whatever shape you have, right? So all bicep exercise work the peak. Now, how your muscle is shaped, you know, that's different. I'll tell you this, though. To make your bicep however it's genetically shaped, how to get the most out of it is to be lean. I mean, most men with big arms, it's that they have well-developed arms. I don't know how big they are, but they're lean, and they give that illusion of being bigger. If you don't like the shape of your biceps, you want to have them have more peak. I'll tell you, being lean, a lot of men just carry way too much body fat, and that's what's causing. And they're not maximizing their own look. They're not making the most of their genetic shape. All right. Is it better to work out in the morning or at night? You know, the deeper you get into the bodybuilding and training world and the specifics, the question of what's optimal versus what's highly effective, right? So, and there's a lot of talk of what's all these different training strategies, eating strategies, what's optimal. Okay. Now, just because, and that could be debated, and it is debated quite often, the science, even though, a lot of these guys, they pride themselves on being science-based. They don't agree on the science all the time, right? But whether something is optimal or not is the way you're doing it, the way that you feel like you're getting results. What if it isn't optimal? And it isn't a 10 out of 10 optimal, but is what you're doing a good 9.5 out of 10? Many times it is, right? It may not be optimal, all right? Right? It may not be optimal, but it's highly effective. So, when I hear that question, I've heard that answer that question. I've heard that question. I had that question, along my journey. And so when they talk about testosterone levels in the morning and maximize muscle gains, right? So you may have heard, that science. But the truth of the matter is, even if that's optimal, whenever you can work out, if you're not a morning person, if your schedule doesn't allow it, right? You have to work out in the afternoon, you have to work out in the evening. I mean, it's really doing what we talked about as how to get the most out of your workout. That's what's most important. And then also being lean enough to show the muscle that you have. So that's far more important than whether you train in the morning or that, what you can get in and train that way on a consistent basis. So I'm getting some advice here from William, and William says, stop showing PED users if you want to expand your base. All right. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Because that picture of me, right, that is drug-free, TRT free. So that isn't a PED user. That's me in that picture. he's watching me over on TikTok. So that's number one. And I don't know if you've looked around. I mean, there's a lot of people who I don't have drug information to share. I never even went down that path to even learn it, right? So I couldn't be an expert to share it. But man, you look around at TikTok, there's a lot of people interested in it. So I think there's a lot of base. There's a lot of people who are interested in that. But thank you for the advice there, William. Michael says, I'm on TRT, and people who don't use it and think it's a PED don't really know how it works. So tell me what that means. So you're taking testosterone replacement therapy, and that's so performance enhancing drug. I mean, it's really not about performance; it's about health, correct? And it does help. So it does it. This more testosterone will help you build muscle, lose body fat, right? it's interesting because you know, I don't have any experience with TRT, but I've talked with dozens of men, and they share their experiences. And it's interesting because I had a gentleman I talked to just yesterday, and he said that he's been on it for 3 months, and he doesn't really notice a difference. I'm thinking, you're on it for 3 months, so you're taking testosterone, and you can't even tell the difference, right? So I just don't understand why you do that. So if it has no effect, then why would you do that? Right? It must have some benefit that's enhancing your natural ability to produce testosterone, right? So does it help or doesn't help? I'm not quite sure on the internet. The guys who use it, some say it's the greatest thing that helps them, right? I mean, whatever way, mentally, physically, emotionally, and then somehow what really doesn't help me. So it either does or it doesn't help you, whether you want to label it as a performance enhancer. I mean, really, who cares about that point? It's our own personal journeys anyway, right? Is doing full body workouts Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays enough to get good results? It's how you do it. It's what I talked about earlier. It's what your goals are, how much intensity, how much you challenge yourself in those full body workouts. But yes, you deal with that right, that can get results, right? Yeah, so Michael's talking about, that, and I guess this debate between those who use testosterone replacement therapy and those who don't, right? So those who don't, their normal levels are what they are. All right. So if they're lower because of whatever conditions, well, that's what your normal levels are, right? So if you raise them from whatever the normal levels are, then they're getting help, right? I guess it really doesn't matter. I am going to be 62 years old next month. So, this whole TRT thing, right? My take on it, right? I talk to men who use it all the time. It's really interesting because some say, it was the worst thing that they ever did, right? They encourage men to not do it, right? So that's one experience. Some people say it's the greatest thing that ever happened to them, right? My thing is this, whether you use testosterone replacement therapy, as far as what anybody else thinks, I mean, we're old enough that we got to make our own decisions in life. What I really find more than building muscle and losing body fat, what I hear a lot of men, it's about, it makes them a sense of control. If they have depression, or it helps with that aggressiveness, a lot of mental and emotional benefits besides whatever it does with building muscle and lose body fat. It's a good sense of well-being, right? And that, that's great. I really see that from what, and again, I can't climb in anybody's mind, but it seems like it's more of a life enhancing drug more than a performance enhancing drug. It just gives them a better sense of life, and man, if that helps them, I mean, good for them, right? But in the muscle building world, again, if your goal is to build muscle and lose body fat, man, the men who I talk to, even really smart men, even men who've been training for a couple of years, if not longer, the things I talk about here, I think they can help themselves a lot, by learning more about working out. The things I talked about here, and taking that to higher and higher levels. The eating part, especially, got to get that eating down. You got to lose that body fat. And I think when you know what you're doing, if that's your goal, you may not need TRT regardless of what your testosterone levels are. You need to learn more about training. You need to learn more about eating. Stress management, that type of thing might help. Ultimately, you're going to have to do that anyway, even if you get a boost with your testosterone. And I want to help you, whether you're using testosterone or not, get the most out of your workouts and your eating habits, kind of understand the process. So, a lot of men, some men who I've worked with, they've really dedicate, their life to their business. Maybe even before their family, they may have a couple divorces, maybe disconnected from the kids. They really put a lot into their business. And now they're getting older and they're really cherishing the life that they have left. And so they're looking to expand their life and their quality of life. And that's their purpose, not about building muscle and losing body fat. But they do have that effect. And so what the doctor said, man, you look so good doing this. You should find somebody to help you work out and eat, right? Because you're just doing this with the testosterone and the peptides that they're giving them. And again, their main purpose isn't to lose body fat to improve their bodies, right? And so a lot of men do come to me for that reason. They come to me for that reason, that they're benefiting from the TRT, the peptides, or whatever the doctor has put some. Now they want to learn how to train to eat right. So, good morning, Eric. What supplements would you recommend for 55, 65-year-old males take? I'm a big believer that you do the work in the gym and you eat right, okay, and then supplements. I think a lot of men overvalue what supplements do for them. And I'm sure you've heard supplements just supplement a good diet and training, all right? There are no supplements. I must take this, that, right? So I don't have any that I just think you should. I don't put that much value. I really emphasize the working out and the eating right. If you understand supplements in their place and you think if you know what they do, many men, if they knew what it was costing them and the actual benefit, I don't think they would take supplements. But again, everybody's different. But the biggest thing I want to make sure men do is eat right and train hard and understand all that, right? So, yeah. Yeah, a lot of talk on creatine. Even most men don't understand what creatine actually does. And so, they may be benefiting from creatine, but they really don't know what it does. All right, guys. So again, we talked about how to make any workout routine work, whatever split it is, what the organizing principles, get the most out of your workouts. Now that you're a little older, talk about a lot of things, TRT. All right, so that's going to do it for this Workouts for Older Men Live. Hey, make sure that if you want to reach out to me, make myself available. I'm going to post my number here on the screen. And so what you can do is text me at the number on the screen, 925-352-4366. I usually have a couple men at least who do this every single morning. Text me a picture. The picture tells me 1,000 words. Introduce yourself. And then you go to talkwithskip.com. Go to talkwithskip.com. That's going to take you over to my 𝗪𝗔𝗄𝗃.com website. And you're going to fill out a questionnaire. So I'll know all about you. And I'll have your picture, all right? And then I will reach out to you. Today is a good day. We can talk, maybe even this weekend, whatever works best for you. I'll reach out to you by text, by email, by phone call even. We'll set up some time. So if you're the type of man who does what it takes to get what he wants, text me a picture, fill out that question, and I'll reach out to you today. All right, so let's take on the day with a sense of urgency. We have to when we're a little bit older. We've got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Have a great day.